starting hole on hole 9, par 4, 786 feet. I throw my champion right here, right into the tree. Terrible first shot. I end up going with my Raider here, trying to get a big flex. Ends up coming out a bit early, end up by this tree. Now I'm forced to go to a flex forehand. I throw my Star Charger on a great line. Really was hoping to get myself up a little closer, maybe save par, give it a good bid here, and just tap in for the early bogey.
We're doing gamies within 50 feet today.
Yeah. Here we are, hole 10, par 3, 334, uphill. Probably plays close to 350, 360 or so, but all hyzer. So I take my kind of flippy destroyer here and just try and put it on a hyzer, go big and let it stall out. Right out of the hand, I knew it was going to be fine, but wasn't going to get back far enough to the left. So I'm left with just outside circle putt here. Couldn't decide if I wanted to do a little straddle jumper or just a normal putt. So I end up just going with my normal putt, just leave it a little bit short off the cage, and we'll tap in for par. Now on to hole 11, par 3, 430 feet. I end up going with my again, trying to throw it on this flex, get it to the far right. I usually just play this one for par all the way. This is a tough get. Now I'm going with my soft tactic, just throw it on a little forehand. Thought I almost gave it a little run, and then just tap in for the par. Now hole 12, par 3, 380 feet. You got this tunnel gap. There's kind of this left or this right side. I usually go left side and just try and rip a forehand out, but did not get out clean, so then I'm left with this forehand. Saw it off and leave myself with about a 42-foot putt. Not exactly what I want. At this point, putting's just been a mental game, and I've been trying to just tell myself, hey, I'm going to run it, and I'll make the comeback here. I ended up just leaving it just a little bit short off the cage, take another bogey. Now on to hole 13 is a par 5, 1,153 feet. This is one that I really wanted to just try and rip one off the tee. You don't have to be super accurate, but you just cannot hit this tree, and I just squared up. End up throwing a pretty great standstill forehand second shot. Honestly, I could not have asked for a better shot here. You're just trying to get distance all the way. Here I end up trying to go with a big turnover and throw it on a hyzer. Recently, I've just been throwing a lot of nose up, and I'm left with this. Throw a Firebird into the green. You can kind of see the pin there. I end up about 45 right. At this point, I've already had a couple edges circled 45-foot putts, so kind of felt comfortable. I knew where I was missing, and I just had to full send this one, give it the right height, just put a little more spin on the last couple putts. I did exactly that, hit dead center chains. Felt great to save a par from where I was. Hole 14 is a par 3, 375. This is one that's almost a must get. It's downhill. Throw a great drive, just get caught up in those limbs and leave myself with that long jump putt, which I leave nose up, and give myself another tester putt. This is not what I want for par. Completely airball. Confidence at this point, putting is just not there. Hole 15 is a par 3, 400 feet. Plays downhill, and it's just a big hyzer. You kind of have to hope that it just fades back. You can't go too deep, and as you see, even my shot I thought was perfect. It was still too deep. It's just this tiny little landing strip, and I end up just drilling the putt. I knew I had to get something going, and that was a huge confidence booster. Now we get into the hardest part of the course. Hole 16 is a par 4 at 720 feet. Really, you just want to throw something dead straight. I kind of overturn it a little bit. Don't give myself a great look. I had to get my buddy Sal on the channel, so I took a few videos of him. He goes with a super overstable flex forehand and ends up just putting it in the perfect spot. As you guys can see here, I do not have a great lane to the basket, which is down that tiny little tunnel on a slope, and I just throw it straight into the woods. I end up missing my pitch out, and then my upshot, I almost threw it in. I'm left with this with my bogey putt. I had a couple twigs, branches hanging in my face, so it made this putt kind of awkward, but I was able to drill it. Felt happy even though I took the bogey there. Hole 17 is a par 3 at 475 feet. Shout out to Sal for being in the way of this one, but it's just a big hyzer, just let carry down the hill. End up leaving it a little bit short and have a death putt here. Did not want to run it, but I knew I had to get some strokes back, and going into the front 9, I really needed to get this one. Gave it a great bid, and kind of sad to tap in for par there, but that's one that you're okay taking par. Now on to hole 18 is a par 3 at 230 feet. It's an island hole, so you got to get it inside there onto the bark, which I do exactly that. I was happy. Buddy Sal goes with the Zone OS, and just, you miss it right here, but he puts it right by the basket. You get a meter relief off of this, so it makes it a pretty easy putt, and I'm able to take the 2. Hole 1 is a par 3 at 295 feet, straight uphill. This is honestly a tough get for a righty backhand player, but I thought I threw a pretty great shot. Nicked some leaves, probably left me 30 feet shorter than I would have, and I ended up just throwing it right off the cage. Gave it another great bid. Putting's just been kind of off and on. Some of these putts have just felt and looked great, and others have just been a little bit off. So going into hole 2 is another one I'm okay playing for par, which is a par 3 at 400 feet. Kind of got to choose. There's a left gap and a right gap. Right gap I think is a little bit harder, so I choose the left gap. End up throwing a great drive. Not really able to see it, but I get up there, give myself a circle 2 putt. Here I'm just trying to give it a hyzer bid around the tree. Felt out of the hand like it was a lot better than it really was, but again, I'll take this for par. Not too mad about this. Hole 3 is another par 3 at 410 feet downhill. I missed the video on my camera, and so my buddy Sal came in clutch with this. I just rip a forehand down there. It's up on this little mound, and could not have asked for a better shot. And I just completely airball. Left myself with a decent comebacker right off the cage. And after that, I was pretty upset. This was not one you want to take a bogey on. Hole 4, another par 3 at 375 feet. There's a left forehand hyzer line, or just this backhand hyzer line. I always take this backhand hyzer. I thought I was giving it an ace run. I end up just clipping the last tree. At this point in my round, I'm just completely running everything. Felt like I could just give it a great bid. I thought it was going in, out of the hand. Gave myself another little tester putt, which with confidence down, that is not what I wanted. Hole 5 is another par 3 at 350 feet, quite a bit uphill. I just try and rip into this one. End up throwing a little bit nose up, leave it a little short, but honestly I have a great bid. Probably about 45 to 50 feet or so, and just completely miss again. Hole 6 is a par 5 at 930 feet. This is a very fun hole. Fun to watch, not super fun to play. I just barely missed that telephone pole right in the middle. Could not believe it, otherwise I would have been way off the fairway. End up putting myself in a perfect spot. Could not have asked for anything better. Then my buddy here, Sal, he's down one stroke, and he decides to go tomahawk off of this. And you can't really see it, but it comes back in the fairway into a perfect position. Unreal. I'm left with a forehand, and I end up just turning it over a little bit too much. Had a perfect line, and I just screwed that up. You won't be able to see, I'm here in the woods, and I just have to pitch out, flex a forehand up here, and it gets all the way up through the tree and gives myself a circle 2 putt. That was for birdie. I could not be happier. This is a very tough hole, and to get a birdie on that is awesome from being off the fairway. Hole 7 is a par 4 at 540 feet. It's probably one of the more gettable holes. Turn it over a little bit too much, but I thought I'd be okay. And I put myself in a rough spot. I have got to get up and down from here, which you can see I do not. I needed to birdie out in order to give myself a chance. I had just checked scores. So I'm completely running this, and I gave it a bid just over the top. And honestly, pretty frustrated at this point because I know going into the last hole, they have to both bogey, and I now have to birdie this, or I got to give it an ace run. My buddy Sal here has got to put this close. The other guy in front of him just parked it, and he's got a birdie to win. He throws a great shot off the tee. He goes with his pyro, lands about 15 feet from the basket, and then it ends up rolling to probably 45 to almost 50 feet. At this point, both of them are parked, and I'm just thinking, I got to ace this. And out of the hand, both of them said that might go in. I thought it was going in. Just nicked a tree just short. And my buddy Sal has this to win the tournament.
Great putt.
All in all, this tournament was not the way I was hoping to play. Really, just starting out over par was what killed me. This is a tough course. I was really hoping to shoot 2 to 3 down. So not horrible, but definitely could have been a lot better. As you can see, I still shot above my rating, so not too mad, but definitely could have been a lot better and could have really helped my rating.